All right, we will call the Thursday, March 14th, 2024 City of North Kansas City Equity and Inclusion Committee meeting to order. And we'll start with a call to order. So Ryan Brooks.
Present.
Jennifer Boyd.
Here.
Bess Bailey.
Here and not forgotten.
Daniel Trotter is here. Martin Newton.
Here.
Marcia Wade Kuntz.
Here.
And our council liaison, Amy Clark, is here. And
Present.
just had her workout.
My face is so
All right.
red.
So, let's see here, any guests in the audience? I understand we have our driver for Snake Saturday, and we'll get to that, it looks like, on the agenda. And, of course, Councilmember Saper, thank you for joining us. Does anyone move to approve the minutes from our last meeting in February?
I move to approve the minutes.
And I second.
All right, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 All right, those are approved. And are there any comments from the public? I don't think we have anyone unless Councilmember Saper wants to mention or. All right, so I think this next topic will cover some ground. So Snake Saturday Parade information. What do we have to start with?
Yes, so you have a handout, should be right below your agenda. And you will note that we are in section C, staging number 10, so that means we're the 10th entry in section C. If you turn the page, there's a map. And the parade route is indicated in green. And the staging area, which is where we'll line up, is indicated in yellow. Because we're in staging group C, we will enter at 10th and Swift. That is the only entry point. So all of the other roads will be blocked off. You will not be able to walk or drive a vehicle. So when you're coming to meet us, please enter down at 10th and Swift. Our staging time is between 8 and 8:45. But you all don't have to be there at 8:45. The parade starts at 11, and they suggested that everyone be there by 10:30. Yep. So we will take care of the between 8 and 8:45. We'll get the vehicle there, and then we can actually leave. We don't have to stay with our float. Everyone just needs to be back at the float at 10:30 a.m. So we will be the 10th float in line. So if you see 14th Avenue, we'll just be 10 back from that. And then the parade travels north on Swift, and then east on Armour, and then south on Howell. And then when we exit the parade route, we have to turn right onto 16th Avenue. So we will turn right in the truck. You likely will not be able to walk left either. They were still determining that, but likely you'll have to also walk with the truck. And then down to Gentry, and then from there we'll funnel out. So at that point, you are free to go wherever you want. If you want to go somewhere else, party, celebrate, whatever, or go back to your vehicle or your home, you would do that. But we won't have any way to get you back to your vehicle or your home. So, and it's just public parking. It will be available. So you'll just have to, if you plan to drive, you'll just have to find a spot, an available spot that day. And then Megan and I will take the truck back to our Public Works location and park it. So the actual parade starts at 11, and we are in Group C, so we're in the last group to go. And we estimated, 30 in each group? 30 entries in each group? Yeah. So we're like number 70. Yeah. It's a big parade. Yeah. And they did say that there's lots of animal entries this year, more so than they've had in the past. Yeah. So loud noises, things like that. We're supposed to keep it a minimum. Not that we would have loud noises. Yeah, we are right in front of a band. So the Winnetonka Marching Band is right behind us. Because we were thinking about music, but I think we'll just have music because the band will be playing. But that'll be fun. Okay, does anyone have any questions about staging, anything like that? Nope. Okay. I did not. Did you hear back from Reed, Martin?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was thinking that she would probably
Okay. Okay. If they join us, that's great because it's all on Steak Saturday's website. Our parade entry and where we are this is all out there. So if they saw that and wanted to join us, that would be just fine too. If you end up talking to her, yeah, yeah, totally fine. Yep. Okay. So we do have candy to hand out. I have 6,375 pieces of candy. I have no idea if that's enough or not. I will, I had to put a sign on the box so people would need it. But it's Skittles, Starburst, Skittles and Starburst, right? Yeah. It came to a total of $487. Do you guys think we need more? That's okay. 6,375 pieces. Yes, 6,000. Yeah. King size candy. No, it's the small one. We did not do candy at Pride. No. We just had the swag. I think I only ordered like 500. Yeah. 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 So I don't know. It's up to you guys. I don't know either.
Or we won't, and we'll just have a really good time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a lot. Okay. I think if we're just giving it to kids too, I think that, I mean you can give it to adults, but I just think, okay, so we're good with the 6,000.
Yes. I think.
Okay. Okay. Like 50,000, if not more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know, and yeah, the soccer game too, so that could affect things. Yeah. There's a lot going on. Like a crossover. I don't know. Okay. So we're good with that, with the candy? Okay.
I think that's
We have hoodies. So at the conclusion of our meeting, we'll go back and get some hoodies. I also found all the sizes in T-shirts, so if you need additional sizes, I've got them out there. I think that's it from me. Does anyone else have any questions about? Oh, no throwing. You cannot throw the candy. Walk to the sides of the street to give the children candy. Don't stand out in the middle and have the kid come out and get it from you. Yeah. They said that happens because people don't, you're trying to walk. You are allowed to ride bikes and scooters, but you have to stay with our entry, so you can't get ahead or fall behind. I think that's it.
Oh, I got it. We got it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We also have a truck this year, not a wagon.
Yeah.
So,
So we've got. So how we plan to. Yes. 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 Yes.
I had a lot of trash in.
So we have the candy, and Megan will be in the bed of the truck, handing out the candy for you to hand out. And the plan was just for you to hold the bags of candy, and we'll cut the top off, and then you'll just hand it out from there. But if you wanted to bring a wagon, you guys could throw some in the wagon and then go from there. I think that would work perfect. Okay. Yeah, I may or may not have kids. Depends. I will always have them, but they may or may not be with me. Yeah, no one seems to want them. I don't know. Okay, I think that's it. If you have other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I think most of you have my cell phone number. But if not, I can absolutely give that to you. And then there is a lot of information in this handout here. So, I think that's it for Snake Saturday.
Do we need to do it? So if we haven't heard from Reed, is there anything we need to do to decorate the vehicle? I know you all were.
Oh, it's done.
All of that. It is.
Totally
Any
done.
photos we
Megan.
can put up on the
Yeah, Megan is amazing.
Well, it'll just be a surprise.
I've been out of town, so I feel bad. So I took
Cool.
her out to dinner
That's
tonight.
awesome.
But
Thank you.
I do have
Um,
photos if people want to see.
yeah.
Or, yeah.
it looks great. It looks great. She did an awesome job, and so no, there's nothing that needs to be done. We're ready to
Very
go.
good.
And I
Thank you.
thanks to our public works crews.
Yeah,
because
that's amazing.
they're
That's a
really the
huge
dream
deal.
team. Yeah.
Well, terrific. Hopefully, I still have faith in the high school team to come through.
Yeah.
So
If they join us,
yeah,
that'd be
that'd be
wonderful. If
awesome.
not, no worries.
okay.
That's right. Okay.
Well, all right. Does anyone have any other information or need to know anything for Saturday before we move on?
Yep. Looks like decent weather. Maybe a little chilly in the morning, and then 60. So yeah. That's up to you guys. The hoodies, shirts, they look just like the shirts. Oh, you're gonna have the hoodies there. I have them here. We'll get it. Yeah, yeah.
Low might fit it this year, so. I think wear clothing. Yeah, they are gonna wear clothing. And if you have some EIC clothes, put that on. Feel really good about that. And then remember, we're walking a distance, so pick some good shoes. Absolutely not. No, we're in parade. This is a
Yeah, it's gonna be.
slow moving.
I think the speed at which the parade is moving will determine the speed at which we're moving. So, and since we're at the end, I bet it's going to be a lot of stop and go.
And if, I mean, if you need me to set pace of like we're just gonna meander, I've got a 2-year-old, I'll set her free.
And we've got the band behind us, so
Yeah.
I think we can go our pace and they're still going to be behind us. Because they're going to stop and go.
Okay.
All right, Amy, do you have some updates that we can discuss?
I put them out here. You asked for them, so I put them back on. If you don't have any update, that's okay. Can you turn your mic on? All right.
Versus trying to reinvent the wheel, we may just look at connecting with the hospital and maybe pitching in for those overall costs when it comes to like, servicing the gardens and those specific areas that have a higher concentration of those that are using the flex bus service and things like that. Because we've got to come up with some sort of solution. We'll be talking about it pretty in depth again at I imagine, June or July. So for this meeting, we can kind of focus on Snake Saturday, but I'm just thinking we've got April, May, and then, really April and May is it because we'll be talking about Pride at that point too. So just got to kind of keep that in the back of our minds. I just had a loose idea when it came to tourism grants and things like that. Like people come through to ask for money to help out with, say, like Pint Path came through and they're like, hey, here's what we do for the city. We're just wondering if you're able to give us some money to help go toward that. We bring a lot of people in. I thought maybe it could be helpful, and you can shoot this down, if they would come to the EIC first as like a presentation for you guys to kind of field it out, see what's maybe being covered or what's being extended. I don't, if that's something that would feel good to you guys. And then that can then come to the council as sort of with feedback from the EIC or, as reviewed by the EIC kind of thing. To kind of go through like an approval in a way of kind of how your thoughts and feelings are around it. Like I think about when we do the planning commission, they decide and kind of bring the recommendation. We have a whole commission, involved in that. So I didn't know if that would be something that could be helpful. I think for us, it could be just to kind of keep tabs on everything that might be coming across the desks for the city staff and just maybe being able to have a pulse on that. Different activities, different, tourism dollars and how those are spent or allocated. And if we feel like we're in agreement with the direction those are headed or how those are being allocated, I think it could be helpful to have your guys' input for that, if you guys are open to it.
So you would look for the EIC to make a formal recommendation to the city council?
Potentially.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because there's always, council has to decide in the end. But I'm thinking of it much like, the planning commission. They'll say, okay, this is kind of the plan for this particular area. They run it past the planning commission first. The planning commission then makes the recommendation to the council. Council still has to decide, or to the city staff. City staff then recommends to the council. We still have to decide, but I think that could be just another level of kind of like input and check boxes, just something where you guys can have a pulse check on, what is going on? What are the activities? Do we feel like these fit into what we want for our city, and do we want some variation? Do we want, whatever that outline or that overall look could be? I think that was just kind of my initial thought.
You call it the Board of Tourism, or what is it called?
No, I think it's like the financial bucket is like the tourism and
Yeah, so it comes from taxes from like hotel, motel taxes, other things go into our tourism money, but that's where
But
the
who would
funding.
present or who would present the events or?
So how it works right now is when someone wants to capture some tourism dollar, tourism grant, they come before the city council. So whoever is putting on the event, if it were River North or the Business Council or whomever, Pine Path, yeah. And they would come before the city council and request those funds. That's how they do it right now. So I presume it would be that organization that would come.
I see.
and it could be a variation. I mean, it's kind of open, I believe, because it becomes sort of whatever organization believes that they can bring people to the city, and what does that activity look like? What is that, right now we're looking at Pine Path, we're looking at, I think it was like a Fall Fest, whatever they ended up calling it, like an Oktoberfest festival, and then Snake Saturday, of course, that's also part of it. I mean, they asked for, that assistance on the tourism funds. So, yeah, I think it's just also to maybe think about, where we want those to kind of be, if that fits into the larger picture of kind of the representation in our city and things like that. Just stuff to think about kind of going forward. I don't want it to feel like, saddling you with something heavy, but just kind of, I think I would appreciate your guys' eyes on it as well as a committee.
So I would suggest that if you're going to do that, we come up with some merit criteria so that each application would be judged the same. Because that's how it works
Sure.
for the Planning Commission. It's a very strict criteria that the applications have to meet. And this wouldn't be that strict. I don't think it's like that. But I just think so that, you're judging them all the same. It's all fair. So if that's something you wanted to do, we could certainly look at that at a meeting.
Yeah, I like it. Does there tend to be a set deadline for?
Yeah, so that's the thing. You guys only meet once a month, and the council meets twice a month. When people are putting in these applications, sometimes we know far in advance, and we've talked to the applicant. Kim handles most of it. And then Megan on the event side handles that for their temporary permit. But sometimes it's not a lot of time before. So, yeah.
Okay.
But I think if it was laid out in the application process that this is, a requirement, then that's in there and they would know the
Things
time
could be
frame.
subject to change, so to say, if you're wanting to grant between like each quarter or,
Yeah.
you know, biannual or whatever, we can like set that.
Yeah, Amy, I wasn't here when you guys, that's when I was gone for a little bit, but when you guys started doing the tourism grants,
Mhm.
do you remember if that application process was approved by the council?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So then we would, if you want to do this, we would need to go
Mhm.
back to council.
Oh, to kind of approve them
Yeah.
being a part, the EIC being a part of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I basically went rogue on this one and just it just came to my brains in the last presentation. When those come through, I just
Yeah.
kept thinking like, these are major, events, and we should probably have a handle on them, and I think even it might come down to reviewing the current structure of the check boxes, I guess, in that application. It may just come down to that and saying like, does this feel good to us? If it does, that's solid, and maybe we don't have to worry about everybody coming here and meeting us. But you can also review the ones that have happened or that keep occurring, because I think the goal is that they continue to get it each year. We know that of Snake Saturday. I don't know if that'll happen, with, say, Pine Path. I don't know if I know one of them we put like a 3-year, I don't want to say sunset, but I think like the Oktoberfest. Help me remember, Tony, if we did maybe like a 3-year, because the general rule of thumb is if you're going to come up with sort of a new event, it'll take about 3 years to kind of take off and get some footing. You can't just assume it's going to be successful right out the gate. So just kind of throwing that out there, not to try to complicate matters, but just to get a little pulse on that.
I think it's a good idea. It'll get us in the conversation. It'll get the EIC in the conversation of those things. Also, I think it would be a good idea to check to see the criteria from the one you mentioned from the Planning Commission, just so we're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
If we see that, I
Yeah.
think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so at your next meeting, would you like me to put that application on your agenda? You guys can look at the application, and then we can come up with some criteria, and then go to council and ask possibly for a change in the application process? Is
We
that
can
what you're
review it
thinking?
next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Councilmember Saper had his hand up. Can we hear his feedback?
Oh.
Yeah, with that said, the other piece, I don't know if anybody saw the last council meeting, with the events that have occurred, at the high school, and just really honing in on the city's emergency response plan. Just kind of maybe taking a look at that for review, or if we have any sort of immediate comment. I get it. It's a tough time. For everyone all around, police are like, we're doing our thing, and fire's like, we're doing our thing. School districts got to do their thing. And I think, just as far as feedback from the community, people felt maybe things could have been done just a little bit differently.
Are you talking about the communication
The emergency
more
response.
so than the emergency?
Oh, right. Is it the communication?
So our emergency
Yeah.
response plan is like how our police and fire departments
Oh, yeah, not
and our
that.
public respond to an
they killed
emergency.
it. They did great.
Like, right.
Sorry, comedy language.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
doing awesome.
But I think maybe what you're talking about is a communication.
Yeah, it's
an
communications
emergency
as
communication.
relative to, yeah,
Okay.
I think it's that. It's like, I'm looking at specifically Brother Swearingen's comment. And, with that, just kind of saying like, city staff level, what does that look like as far as like, how do we communicate them with the community to even say as a part of that emergency response plan, fire, police, they do their part. But what about the rest of us that are like, people are hiding in our backyard? What do we do next? What do we do in case of this? What do we do if our neighbor's house is on fire? Like, what is the best step? How do we protect each other? Those sorts of things. And I know there's training, I know for council members for like responding to a flood. Like, when we're in this area and we're in like major state of emergency, but I don't know that I don't know that we're aware of things that are laid out, for everyone to kind of know and spread that message of kind of like, here are the steps you can take if there's an active shooter. I mean, teachers, you guys know all sorts of drills, unfortunately. But yeah, I think just taking a look at that, just knowing that that's one of the things that was brought forward from community members. The YMCA, I believe, was it official that they removed? I know it was a discussion item, but we discussed whether we should remove the 6 visit minimum required. And I'm trying to think, I'm like, it was a discussion item. I think we thumbs up that it's okay if you don't do 6
they're
minimum.
not enforcing it anymore, but it's
Right.
not.
It's encouraged but
black
not
and white,
enforced to where your membership would fall off. I don't know if you guys know about that. Once you sign up, you need to attend at least 6 times a month or your membership could fall off. They brought that forward as kind of a recommending not to do that because some people, have stuff going on. Maybe they had to leave for the month or they got injured or all sorts of different reasons. And so we felt like lifting that restriction may be helpful to keep people going. I think that's all I have as far as updates. Yeah. I mean, that's all that we covered this month. I think that's it.
I have a question for you. As far as April election goes, is there anything we should read up on or be aware of when that comes up? At least for citywide. I've not looked at the ballot yet. I have no idea what's going on.
No, we do not have anything other than you're electing new council members.
Perfect.
Or re-electing council members. So the city does not have any other initiative on the ballot. There is a council member forum or a candidate forum on next Thursday, a week from today. Yes, a week from today. It will be broadcast live on YouTube. You could come in person. I think it's at 6. Hold on.
You said it's your husband's birthday? He has not informed me of it. Oh, gosh, of course.
6 to 7.
Why would he? He's just
Thanks,
running and all.
So next Thursday from
Next
6
Thursday
to 7
here?
p.m. Correct, here. It'll be moderated by North Kansas City High School debate
That's right.
students.
I forgot I did that.
Yep.
It's a sweaty one, man.
Yep.
Woo! They
So-
asked some tough questions.
Yeah. Yep. So I think you could gain information from that about candidates, or if you know of people that are interested in hearing what the candidates have to say, that is the perfect opportunity. Come in person, or it is streamed live on YouTube and will be on YouTube afterwards too. Yeah.
Here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But it's good. And I'm still here somehow.
I was just curious, did North Kansas City have any kind of like a say in keeping the championship game at North Kansas City High School, or was that just determined by the state, or like Misha, for instance?
Yeah, I don't think. Well, we didn't have any say in that,
Really?
and I'm not sure that the school district did either.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was just curious who made that decision when I saw it was moved. Thought it was a bit unfortunate, but I mean, I understand the optics and
Yeah.
the reason, but I didn't know
Yeah.
how that would be made. I did talk to the YMCA just about some of the feedback we had heard. I think we had discussed that some kids were being, I think, turned away, like if they weren't members after a certain time. But from what I understand, they don't actually give any day passes to anyone after a certain time. So they just basically give priority to members, throughout the day. They do, however, have like education or like the opportunity for kids to come in and use their educational services, so not necessarily like the workout facilities, but just to come in and do homework or to, you know, use their learning center. So anyone can do that. You don't even have to be a member. So I thought that was helpful to know, and just a nice, you know, amenity without even being a member. So, yeah. All right.
Have we moved? Are we still on announcements?
Well, I was.
Did we
I
go to
was
announcements?
Just kind of piggybacking off the YMCA
Okay.
discussion there. in
Okay.
He's like,
under
"Is Amy
the-
still
under
talking?"
section 6 of the meeting? Sorry, I didn't make it very clear. But no, are there? Do we any other updates, or do we want to move on to announcements? All right, we'll move on to announcements.
Okay.
Does anyone have an announcement?
I do. I failed to put this on the agenda, but had an afterthought. Thought we should maybe celebrate Women's History Month, much like we did Black History Month. So Megan was kind enough to prepare. It's in front of you. So with your go ahead, we will post that in the Week in Review and on our social media outlets as we did with Black History Month.
And to that point, this year's theme, if everyone doesn't already know, women who advocate for equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Say
Look
that
at
one
us.
more time.
Oh, that's the theme for Women's History Month, is women who advocate for equity, diversity, and inclusion.
I see.
Killing it.
Halfway.
Canva.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is my women's history fun fact. I turn on my mic for it, so it's very important. Women's History Month is celebrated in March because International Women's Day is March 8th.
Also, my daughter's birthday. Great day to have a daughter. Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, and your questions made it. Way to go on the big survey.
that's
These
fantastic.
are at business and residential. Yeah, there they are, highlighted. Yeah, and they switched it. We were leaning on that company, and they switched it to kind of indicate 5 to 1, you know, so that it's not like a written in answer, because most people don't write in an answer. So in order to sort of maybe avoid the just complete avoidance of the question, they wrote it in that format. And I think it works really well.
All right. Well, that was a swift meeting. Anyone move to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
I second.
All right. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we will adjourn. Thanks, everybody. Looking forward to Saturday.